Welcome in to the Heated Dynasty Podcast, Week 2 in our recap here. Mark, how are you feeling, bud? I'm feeling a little bit more mellow than last week.
Back to earth.
Back to reality. So I don't know. I feel like this is actually more comfortable for me. It's a little bit more what I'm used to. Washington got stomped on by little baby feet Kyler Murray running all over him. He runs like such a weirdo.
He's so quick. He does like very left to right.
Like prance thing. Like, I mean, it works. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But like, it's like a little like Speedy Gonzalez. Is that okay to say? I mean, I don't know.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. But
he's
just how fast his legs move. It's crazy. I don't know. I feel better. This is more what I'm used to feeling. You know, pain, rebuke, shame. Yeah.
Well, what we want to see is the offense looking better, and I want us to lose by 1 to 3 points every week is my goal. Yeah. Get some positive momentum. I'm all about going 2-14 with 2 Philadelphia wins. I'm all about that. But
Mark, I can't do that.
Can't.
It's been a loser mentality for so long. Like, dude, I mean, I know we're not gonna win a whole bunch, but if we can win, I want to win. And I don't know. Terry McLaurin was definitely still a highlight of that game. 125 receiving yards, and so 10 targets, 7 catches, 1 touchdown. I'm excited.
I saw a stat. He's tied DeAndre Hopkins for 5 missed tackles or broken tackles on the season. That's tied for top receiver class.
And the funny thing is that in week 1, DeAndre Hopkins didn't get a single one. It was all against the Washington team, pretty sure. This week couldn't tackle anybody. But
very unfortunate.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll be all right. I mean, I know I'll be all right. I'm 2-0 right now in our fantasy league, and
that helps.
Kicking ass and taking names. Like, I think I scored more points than Christian McCaffrey did last year, Mark. So
no,
yeah, he still beat me. Yeah, he still beat me, but maybe next week. But yeah, so what do you think we need to make a formal apology?
I think it's in order. No. Sorry, man.
We're sorry, dude. We did not mean to break you.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like we might have pushed a little too hard on the interview, or with our criticisms. Like, there's nothing wrong with getting help if you need it. But and for those who have no idea what we're talking about the fire sale. Okay. So GM Newell lost by 3 points this week to Seymour, and has now put his entire team on the trade block, and in the last 24 hours has been able to pull off 3 ridiculous trades, and I'm not really sure who's won yet. I don't think we'll know this for a little while. I know who's losing this year. So GM Newell, we expect that you at least field a team this year. Because don't pull a Ben Chapman and leave, James White in your lineup. But this is insane. I really think we broke him, Mark.
See, my thought process was maybe like getting rid of the, Tom Brady, Mark Cooper, the elder statesman.
Sure.
A little surprised that
the weak, decrepit, but he's traded. Let's go through the trades for those who are listening here. So trade number 1 went to Mark over here. Mark received Travis Kelce, a 2021 second-round rookie draft pick, And in return, GM Newell received a 2021 and 2022 first-round pick from Mark and Emmanuel Sanders. So right off the bat, I mean, he's got 2 more first round picks. That's pretty awesome. Definitely for someone who, I mean, I think the draft is going to be the exact opposite of last time. I don't know if any of the rest of us are going to have a chance to draft. We will all be watching and seeing what GM Newell does instead of like last year where he had to wait until the 5th round to get his first draft pick.
So for those keeping track at home, we've got 2 first-round draft picks for 2021 and 2 first-round draft picks for 2022.
Yeah, and no second-round pick for him, but that's okay. So moving on, because we'll be here all day with all these trades. So we all know Mark received Austin Eckler. In exchange for GM Newell received Matt Breida, a 2021 first-round pick. Oh, there's another one. And a 2022 second-round pick. So if you are keeping track, we are now up to 3 total first-round picks next year for GM Newell, including his own, which might as well be a second-round pick since it looks like he's coming in dead less now. And last but not least, this is the trade that like utterly shocked me.
Yeah.
He gave up Christian McCaffrey.
24-year-old, only injured for 4 weeks, potentially, maybe 6.
Yeah, so they're predicting, and we'll get into injuries, trust me, we'll get into injuries this week, but they predicted that it'll be 4 to 6 weeks for Christian McCaffrey. Pretty sure he's Superman. I would not be surprised if we don't see him 3 weeks from now on the field. Yeah. Now, will he be the same Christian McCaffrey, or is he going to have to be a little more tentative this year? I don't know. I would take a tentative Christian McCaffrey over pretty much anyone else. So, yeah, that might mean he only would have gotten 450 points this year. But anyway, let's talk about what he got. So this is Jared Burkholder traded, received Christian McCaffrey. He gave up the naming rights to his next 4 daughters.
Yep.
Jimmy G, who is also broken now. 2021 and 2022 first-round picks. So if you're keeping track, that is 4 first-round picks in this next year, and 3 first-round picks the following year. So
and then 2 second-round picks next year, but
correct.
None this year.
Correct. So GM Newell, hat tip to you, good sir. I am interested to see what's going to happen going forward. As your commissioner, and as your commissioners here, we just want to let you know, we do expect you to field a team every week. And we expect all your positions to be filled with players who actually have a fighting chance of scoring points. So that means that they're actually active. Moving along. Let's see. What's next? So speaking of fire sales, this week, between the fire sale and then the exorbitant amount of injuries, like, this has just been insane.
It is crazy. I mean, we've got plenty of content for today. We will try and whittle it down to a normal viewing time frame. Might be easier to talk about who wasn't injured this week.
Yeah, I do think it's ironic that Chris Carson, who came into the league with like broken hips, is crushing it on my team right now. Totally healthy, scoring touchdown after touchdown, all through the air, which is different, but still 6 points, so I'll take it.
Even like a little bit more. Get a little more for the reception, probably.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, other than that, I mean, is he the only one that's still healthy in the running back? Aaron Jones is still healthy, and Alvin Kamara is still going.
So that's the list. So for those that actually hurt, first, second picks in most fantasy drafts, I would presume Barkley out for season. Just heard.
Tore his ACL. Sucks.
Does suck. CMC, McCaffrey, highlighted a moment ago, 4 to 6 weeks, it sounds like. though fully anticipate sooner because it's Christian McCaffrey. Devontae Adams, your boy, hamstring issues. Expected not to miss time.
Well,
hopefully
I just saw like 20 minutes ago. They're like not sure about week 3. So I think it's going to be week to week for a little bit. Yeah. He might miss week 3, but it sounds like long term it shouldn't be too big of a deal. So don't worry. I can still score 200 points, folks.
Boom. Love to see that. Sutton, 20 ACL, out for a year. Pinower's roster. Continuing Pinower. Drew Lock. AC joint. I think it was originally going to be 2 to 6 weeks. Here it sounds like it's going to be a little more like 4 to 6, more in the later part of that. I guess we'll see with him as well. Jimmy G, who just changed rosters in our league, as we mentioned, now part of GM Newell. High ankle sprain. From last I heard, expected to play through, but potential missing time.
Probably will still throw less picks than Tom Brady has so far.
Yeah, that does help him if he sits out. Raheem Mostert, my guy, sprained MCL. Looks like he's going to miss this coming week and potentially more. I think he'll go week to week.
More, dude.
I think so.
I think that's an injury you don't mess with.
Yeah. So we'll see with that. Got throwing in Darrell Henderson this week. Hopefully he works as a little, bridge to Mostert returning. We'll see. Tyrod Taylor, chest, having issues breathing before the game. So hopefully that's okay.
Yeah, this was kind of a weird situation.
Yeah.
So it sounds like he got some sort of injection for pain, and it sounds like his body kind of had like a weird reaction to it. So I don't know if this is like a freak thing, or if this is going to be an ongoing thing. But it sounds like it's more of a freak thing, and that he should be good to go. But obviously he was getting a shot for pain, so maybe there's something else going on there. But I definitely will be fine if he sits out a little bit longer. Justin Herbert is on my bench, and that was a really cool surprise to see him in the game. Not that I'm probably going to start him anytime soon, but it's good to see. I mean, he balled out, dude. I did not think he had that in him, but I don't see how they can go back to Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
He actually moved the ball. He almost beat the Chiefs. The only reason they didn't beat the Chiefs is because they punted the ball in overtime. Like, who gives the ball back to the Chiefs in overtime?
Yeah, that's at the end of the game. They got the ball. Point matters.
Yeah. That's so stupid.
But
sorry, go on.
We'll see. They were saying he's expected to start week 3, even though I'm with you. Doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Though we said the leash is short for Herbert time. Paris Campbell out indefinitely with the PCL injury. Landed on the IR, so at least 3 weeks. Kind of see how that plays out. I believe he's another 3 to 6 week timetable.
Yep.
Then the last one, running out update for Michael Thomas, evaluated. It's actually being evaluated by the Green Bay Packers doctor. And so he is going to be deciding if Michael Thomas can return this week as they play the Green Bay Packers. Conflict of interest?
I was going to say, I wasn't sure if this was a joke or not at first from you, and I was waiting for the punchline, but that's weird. Like the team doctor, or just like that's just the
team doctor? Yeah.
So weird.
I just saw, obviously I saw a report about that, but
yeah, he's not playing this week, guys. Sorry. Yeah. He really needs to rest.
Terrible.
He'll be fine for week 4, but week 3, absolutely not. Devontae Adams, though, he's good to go, folks. Get him out there. Oh, man.
We'll see how it shakes out.
Well, for the sake of the Saints, I sure hope he gets back out there, because they looked rough on Monday night. The offense is not the same. Alvin Kamara, obviously,
same
did great and took advantage of all the extra opportunities. But Drew Brees is starting to look a little old out there if he doesn't have his go-to receiver.
Couple lame ducks out there. The ball is not zipping.
But yeah, so I'm sure we've missed probably about 1 to 37 injuries, but those seem to be the big highlights. So let's go into our week in review, Mark. Starting with the heavy hitters, and we were talking about it before, and it seems like this was the week of the tight end.
Yep. Especially your tight ends.
Yes, I got the first and second scoring tight end this week with Darren Waller and Mike Gesicki, each scoring 35 and 34 points respectively. But in all, the top 10 tight ends this week scored more than 20 points, which I was not expecting that in the least. We'll talk about that a little bit more when we look at our hot takes and the hot takes tracker. But I think tight ends, that was the storyline this week. Whether it was Jonnu Smith scoring multiple touchdowns, Tyler Higbee, obviously Darren Waller. I don't know how Darren Waller, every time he catches the ball, it seems like he's invisible, and then he catches the ball. That dude is like a monster.
He's crazy.
But they had a slip screen to him that scored a touchdown that nobody saw coming. Like, who?
It's not covering him.
There's only one guy to go to, right? And he's wide open, and he scored. I don't know. I mean, we did the same thing with DeAndre Hopkins this week, so I guess it happens, blown coverages. But I just looked at that. He was like sneaking along the outside and then just went right up, easy pass. I don't get it.
And I think they even tried putting Malcolm Jenkins on him. A lot of times he just kept getting burned. Like Waller being bigger and faster, it seemed. It's wild.
He is a monster.
Really?
Anyway, so tight ends. Going through the rest of our heavy hitters, Dak Prescott, he was the top quarterback this week with 3 rushing touchdowns on the ground and another one through the air, and then threw for a ridiculous number of yards. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it was
450.
450. And so that happened, and they pulled off that win against the Falcons, which was very disappointing, to say the least.
Do you think the Falcons realize that they're allowed to touch the ball within the 10 yards, just the Cowboys can't touch the ball on the outside
It definitely seems like I can tell you they know that now. And I can tell you what the first thing they practiced on Tuesday was, and that was onside kicks. That was insane. I've never seen a kick like that before. And it was true. They all just like stood there dumbfounded, just like looking at the ball. I've never seen that happen before.
I feel like the play was 3 seconds or like something like that of just waiting for the ball to cross. And like, oh, wait, no, that's us. We should pick that up. Oh.
Yeah, that was insane. And then on top of that, the whole thing with it just reminded me of do you remember those old movies like Angels in the Outfield, Angels in the End Zone? That just seems like a play from there, or like the ball's just like moving really slowly, and then all of a sudden it's like, and it's just I don't know.
No, I think it's a great analogy. I think it's exactly it.
Yeah, well,
unfortunately,
sometimes you got to go to those throwbacks. But moving along, Aaron Jones scored a ridiculous 49.5 points in our league, and
against me. Back-to-back weeks of getting the Packers players at about 50 points apiece.
Yeah, dude, you're
having fun.
You're picking them well, that's for sure. You and I wrote the schedule, so this is just as much your fault as anybody's.
I feel like maybe I should have been more hands-on through the schedule.
Yeah, that's true. I did kind of slip a couple ones past you. I have scored how many points and am currently in first place, and you are at an 0-2. I definitely wouldn't look too deep into it. Don't worry about it. Oh, man. But I think that played a role into why I'm not terribly worried about Davante Adams either, because they really didn't need to bring him back in the second half. And they are saying, they're like, oh, well, if we needed him, he could have gone back out. Whether I believe that or not, I don't know, but they definitely didn't need him. They really didn't need anybody but Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
On that same front, if you remember back to the Thursday night game, which feels like an eternity ago after this weekend, both Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb just exploded in that game, and which is to the benefit of Seymour, who did exactly what we said not to do, which is to play two running backs from the same team. Well, I will eat that crow. You were right. We were wrong. That definitely paid off for you this week, giving you that win that may or may not have started the fire sale since you beat Newell by 3 points. But
so that decision, because he also had Tyrod Taylor starting, because no one knew that Herbert just walked on the field when we all thought Tyrod Taylor.
That was insane.
So he did it without Tyrod Taylor playing. He was in the start lineup still. Notice you guys carried him past Noel, who had to foreclose on his team. Yes.
Last but not least, Calvin Ridley rounded out this group of heavy hitters this week with a modest score of 34 points. Once again, he's on my team. And for the second week in a row, came out as the wide receiver. I guess last week he was wide receiver 2, and this week he's wide receiver 1. So
yeah, second week in a row, you have wide receiver 1.
Yes, absolutely. Last week was Davante Adams, but not this week.
So should we move into head scratchers?
I think we should. I think you should take this one, Mark.
Yeah, unfortunately, I lost to John Staggers by just a few. I believe it was 10 in that ballpark here. And I was the third highest score. So for the season, the second highest score total, I am 0-2. On my bench, I had Leonard Fournette and Darrell Henderson. I start either over Todd Gurley.
You would be 1-1 if you had made better choices this week.
But that to be said, I'm just kind of happy that they both did that, because Gurley was projected for 20, Fournette and Henderson, under. I think Fournette was 12, Henderson last. Just the injury happened to Akers.
And the fumble happened to Ronald Jones. So you should be able to roll with Fournette for a little while until he fumbles. So.
I hope he doesn't fumble, but
but you gotta love Bruce Arians. That's just the way it rolls with him. Yeah. So you miss a block, or you lose a fumble, you will be on the bench for sure.
Yeah. Moving on to P-Knower, he had both James Robinson and Chase Claypool. Another one where he just probably has to be pretty excited about it. Having those two guys step up big time this week.
This is the same thing I was talking to you before, Mark. This is loser mentality, dude. To be excited about things in the future when you could have won this week. You got to work on that, dude.
All right. Well, we'll see. Because, maybe Phil and I make this late season run to get out of there.
We'll wait and see. I guess there's lots of multiverses where that could happen, yes.
And lastly, our friend Albizi, who we just recorded with last night. We'll be getting that out. I'm not sure which will come first, but he'll be out.
Did we decide that we are going to release that after the whole Newell debacle? I want to make sure it's not too much for Newell. Do we need to connect with him first?
I'll check with him, make sure that he can handle what's coming there.
All right, that's good. Because if you thought he already did one fire sale, I don't know what's coming next. But that's a teaser, so don't miss out.
No, it was a fun one.
It was fun.
It was fun having him on this time. It was fun. 2 good starts. to our player series, and fun having them both go at it. And both just also seeing their face. First time I ever met Albert. So
yep. Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Yeah. But this week, unfortunately, left Dalton Schultz, Mark Ingram on his bench. Keeping with my theme, Dalton Schultz, he has to be pretty excited to see that happen. But Mark Ingram, he probably should have been starting over Shepard, and who was the other one? Sterling Shepard and
Darius Slayton.
Yeah.
Either one of those guys. Obviously, only one of them you could have started over, but they were in your flex. So definitely should have started him over Sterling Shepard. And yeah, dude.
That would have won. You would have won with that. Just the Mark Ingram.
You would have won. So should we talk about the horrible?
Yeah, quite a few horrible.
So I would say first on the ballot for horrible performances, Nyheim Hines. What the heck? I don't know if we want to blame his team or him, but he only had one reception for 4 yards. That's it. And after last week, I think everyone was scrambling. I definitely felt stupid since I dropped him a couple weeks ago before the season started for Chris Thompson. And
got a touchdown passes this week.
He did. And luckily I did not start him. That was unfortunate to let him go, but now I'm not so sure it was unfortunate. No, I think this will be a one-off week. I think what you saw the first week of the season is the absolute ceiling for him. I don't think you're going to get that on a weekly basis, but I also think you're going to get more than one reception for 4 yards.
Absolutely.
Anthony Miller, I'm not sure. That was sad to see. I was expecting good things for him, but he has...
breakout candidate for a lot of people. A lot of people coming in here.
Yeah, but he had 0 receptions for 0 yards this week. And once again, I don't know who you want to blame. Do you want to blame Nagy? Do you want to blame Mitch Trubisky? Or, I don't know, just the entire Chicago Bears organization? Because that was insane. Yet they're 2-0.
Wow.
Yeah. But I guess it's all on Khalil Mack's shoulders at this point.
Yeah, or Nick Foles whenever he comes in. We'll see.
Yeah. He hasn't beat out Mitch Trubisky yet, so I don't understand why people think he would be better. But.
Yeah.
Drew Lock, obviously, he got injured. That was a bummer, but he was also pretty horrible, being that he got negative points for the week. But to be fair, he got knocked out in the first quarter, but he ended the week with minus 1.5 points. Kirk Cousins got to play the whole game, and he shouldn't have. He threw 3 picks and scored a grand total of 1.52 points in our league. So yeah, that was one of those feelings that was good as a Washington football team fan, saying like, okay, well, I do remember some of those performances, and that makes that horrible franchise tag situation of a couple of years back feel a lot better.
Yep.
And last but not least, horrible this week would be Ben Chapman. So lowest score 2 weeks in a row, left James White in his lineup. Dude, I don't know. I thought Newell was being too harsh on you in his interview, but it does look like you've got some work to do on your football prowess. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's going for Lawrence to replace Cousins.
It seems like everyone's taking for Lawrence this year. Are you guys just giving me the trophy at this point? Is that it's only been 2 weeks. I feel like it's a little too early to do my championship lap, but
if you'd like, you can do that right now. We can.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying you guys are saying that. I would not be that brash. I would not come in and say the champ is here.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll give it a couple more weeks.
Just you wait.
Speaking of being on fire, Should we talk about the hot takes tracker, Mark?
Let's do it. I'll kick it to you first. You take yours first.
Okay, so first of all, I am killing it in my prediction so far. Tom Brady has thrown a grand whopping 3 picks so far this season, which I think is 3 more than he's threw last season combined. But he's not looking super hot at the moment. And Baker Mayfield has only thrown 2 picks. So far I'm winning that one, being that I predicted Tom Brady will throw more picks than Baker Mayfield this year. Marvin Jones is crushing Kenny Galladay for the second week. He is beating Kenny Galladay by 24.5 points. So we will see if that changes this week. I think I've heard that Kenny Galladay may be joining the field week 3. But so far he's making me look super smart for predicting Marvin Jones will outscore Kenny Galladay in fantasy points this year.
Kenny Galladay is so confident that he was willing to spot Marvin Jones 24.5 points.
Yeah, he's like, dude, I won't even play the first 2 weeks. You'll be fine. Get out there, buddy. Let's see what you got. And lastly, Connor, good job, my friend. You listened. You started both Hayden Hurst and Jonnu Smith this week, and that paid off for you. I predicted that both of those tight ends are going to be in the top 10 this year. And currently, Jonnu Smith is sitting at the 3rd tight end of the season, and Hayden Hurst is right outside the top 10 in 12th spot. So that's that'll be a fun thing to watch. I think it was good to see that Hayden Hurst actually got involved this week. First week, I was getting a little scared, but I guess Matt Ryan finally figured out that the guy with the long hair was on his team. So.
Speaking of an invisible tight end, that 1 catch, 42 yards, and touchdown, I don't think anyone was on his side of the field.
that was insane. He's been practicing with Darren Waller in the offseason.
Yeah. Well, moving to mine here. First one, it's hard to say. I had Ben Chapman finishing ahead of GM Newell. Benjamin Chapman is 0-2, finished last both weeks, points scored. Newell 1-1, but let's not forget he has no team moving forward. So,
can we also just mention how, I don't want to keep rubbing in that I'm scoring a lot of points right now, but this is one of those Christian McCaffrey situations where if you add Ben Chapman's week 1 score and week 2 score, he still wouldn't have beaten me either week 1 or week 2.
I'm doing mental math right now. He got 80 points this week.
Yeah, let's look.
So did you beat him by 4 times? Because that would be 3 times. 3 times. Because 3 times would be 240. No, he beat you by 10 points, I think. My memory serves me right.
So he has scored a total of 203 points. So first week he must have scored 120-ish.
Yeah.
I have scored a total of 449 points. So definitely doubled him.
But this week,
no.
This week, this is what I was saying. This week he's 80 points.
Yes.
I
beat him by over. Yeah. He would have beat me if I had allowed him to play 3 different teams. But,
yeah. That's correct.
But that's just bonkers, Mark.
Bonkers.
Yes.
Moving into the next one, I had myself usurping P. Noer, myself being first, P. Noer finishing last in our division. Had the second most points in the league. I am currently 0-2. So the points match. Record does not with my prediction.
It's still early, buddy.
Still early.
It'll be okay. It's gonna be okay.
Come on, I really hope you didn't really think this through really well, and I go 13 with the second most points in the league.
I gave P. Noer a call. We figured out the ideal schedule after your prediction of him going 0-13. This has been, a huge con game. The long con.
But P. Noer, low point totals. I think he's I could be wrong, but this will bottom 3 both weeks. Around that capacity.
He's down there. He's only 40 points above Ben Chapman for the 2 weeks, and then he's only slightly above Jared Burkholder, who's only scored 245 points as well these first 2 weeks combined. So yeah, he's bottom. He's the third lowest.
And then 2 bad spots. Locke getting hurt for a few weeks, and I don't think he has a starting quarterback to replace him with. And Sutton going on IR. He does have James Robinson, Chase Claypool waiting in the wings, but overall, I think he's gotten some bad luck in the first start of the season here. My final hot take, which I'm pretty proud of at this point: Fuller nor Cooks are wide receiver 2. They currently sit at wide receiver 43 and 44, which would be in the wide receiver 4.
They're in wide receiver 4 range, yeah.
And this is what I was counting on, was injuries for both of them. And yeah, week 1, Fuller got the points. Week 2, Cooks got the points, but overall 43 and 44. So see how it goes.
It is early. It is way too early for us to be tracking these things, but we can't help ourselves.
There's always time.
There's always time. All right. On to our game results for this week. We've kind of alluded to them a little bit already. Mark, do you want to read who the Beast of the East was this week?
I will say this. I'm very confident and fine with saying that Eric Heater was the Beast of the East with 230 points. Out of the gates hot, but as we know, I'm waiting.
I don't want to be that guy, but it's actually 231 points.
Boom.
So if you could fix that in the document, that would be great. But yes, I did score the highest points 2 weeks in a row. And I will gladly keep taking your money, guys. Thank you. But it would be nice to see a little bit more competition. So I was happy to see these trades go down earlier today because maybe we can actually get some competition going in this game. But on to prediction results.
See how we finish.
Yes, it is only week 2. I should probably chill, but I can't. I am so stoked. Okay, so game results. This week was divisional week. So we swapped some different people around from last week, but I ended up playing my brother-in-law, Jared Burkholder. And we had, Mark, you and I both thought that I would win. And I did. So that was a win for both of us. We had Albizi winning over Connor. And Connor came through. He pulled the upset. And Albizi made a couple boneheaded moves. And Connor took our advice like a smart man and pulled out the win there. So unfortunately, that means we lost, but he won. So that makes me happy. We both thought you were going to beat John Staggers. And John Staggers, that son of a gun, he proved us wrong. And he gave you your second really disappointing loss of the season, Mark. You would have beaten anybody else but him and me.
Yep. Well, I think this week I was. Oh yeah, correct.
Yeah, you were the third highest scorer.
Yeah.
But so right now we're both sitting at 1 and 2. Let's go down to that bottom column. So we had P. Knower playing Woo Footy Hulk. This is the only game that we split decisions for this week. You went with P. Knower, I went with Woo Footy Hulk, and I was correct. So this means that I am now at 2 and 2, and you are at 2 and 3.
1, 3. All right.
Sure. Maybe I was looking at the next column because you predicted correctly that we all know Mark will beat Ben Chapman, as did I. So now I am 3 and 2. You are 2 and 3. Last we had Seymour beating GM Newell, which sparked the fire sale, and we were correct. And that leaves us on the week at me at 4-2, you at 3-3. And since Caleb so graciously gave us his predictions as well, we would be remiss to tell you that he also got 3-3. So he was going with a solid 6-0 from last week, but I have now caught up with him with my 4-2. So we are both at 9-3 for the season, and Mark, you were trailing just behind at 7-5. So we'll see how this goes. But
I was gotta say the fire sale helped because I do think I had GM Newell as the lowest win total out of the group.
yeah,
So,
I think that will play to your advantage for sure. But then again, you also said that Pinor can't beat anyone. So
I gave him 1 week. You see what happens? I gave him 1 win. See what happens?
You idiot. You idiot. All right. So Mark and I had a long discussion over power rankings. Should they be determined based on total points scored, win totals, hopes and dreams, which is what Mark was hoping for,
Aspirations,
desired effect, all that to say, Mark has dropped down a spot. Obviously,
that's my liking.
I am still sitting at spot number 1, but we think that we all know Mark is shown enough that he is going to move up above Mark into the second spot this week, which is impressive since he lost Saquon Barkley for the season. But in that trade, he also picked up Eckler. So we will see how that plays out. But Mark, did you want to whine a little bit about your spot?
I would like to whine. I think that this was uncalled for. I'm just kidding. But I do think I'm still number 2 with second most points overall. But it is a consensus ranking, and I respect the decision. We all know Mark looking good. I think Barkley going out. I think long-term effects. I don't think Eckler will be the A-to-A replacement. I think Eckler's really good, obviously. But yeah, I think in the long run, I do think I'll catch up for my 0-2. Yeah, trip out the gates, prove that I should warrant number 2 position by respect to consensus rankings.
We'll say that that 2 in your 0-2 is the only 2 that I think you deserve at the moment. So,
all right, we'll see.
Time will tell. No, I do. I think you've had some bad luck. I think you could easily be 2-0 right now, and then there would be no argument that you are in second place. Still behind me, but at the same time, this is just 1 week. It's okay, buddy. You have the chance. Prove me wrong next week. John Staggers, you've moved up a spot, my friend. You are in spot 4 now with your impressive win. It's good to see James Conner is actually playing again for you. And unfortunately, that means with these slight changes that Albizi has dropped down 2 spots. He is now in position 5. But that has a lot to do with him being 0-2 as well. So moving on, Seymour and Jared both remain stagnant. They're both in 6 and 7, respectively. Jared has not scored many points, but he's hanging in there and was able to get that first win last week. But sorry, it's going to take more than 102 points to beat me, Jared. So that's, but I didn't see enough from his team, and he just picked up Christian McCaffrey. So I don't think we're going to be moving him until we're kind of in wait and see mode at this point.
Yep.
Josh Hennig.
Hot movement here at the bottom.
Yeah, he benefited from the fact of other people dropping. So I didn't really move him until I realized we dropped more people below him. So this is one of those arguments of like, well, what has he done? Well, he is 1-1, so he moved up a little bit. But it has more to do with GM Newell dropping and BC dropping. So not to get ahead of ourselves, but BC, you're at the bottom, my friend, because you dropped 4 spots based on your decision-making skills and the fact that you have scored like no points on the season. So you will have to show us something else to get out of that spot. And then GM Newell, obviously, you are starting, wide receiver 6s and tight end 23rds. So I think you will be dropping a lot. Remarkably, you only dropped 1 spot because we didn't really think that highly of you in the first place this season. But yeah, now you are going to be doing your draft again, watching from the sidelines. So, but
start looking at those mock drafts.
I was going to say, you got plenty of time to prepare for the off season here. So looking at this, we had, what is that? So Woo Footy Hulk is in 8th. Connor has moved up 2 spots into 9th place based on his win this past week. GM Newell takes 10th. P. Knower, you are still near the bottom, and the only reason you're not on the bottom is because of Ben Chapman. Yeah, dude, that sucks with Drew Lock. I hope that works itself out. And maybe we should just all make a pact not to get Jeff Driscoll, just let you have him. But that decision will be made in the next couple of days over waiver wire. So good luck.
Yeah, when this is recording, I guess that'll be tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we'll see, I guess, when this is aired. We'll see what happens.
All right, dude. That was it. That's all I got. Any last thoughts? Closing remarks?
I will be coming for you. And we'll see. I think Travis Kelce being out of my team, this is kind of my Mark monologue as well again.
Okay.
Travis Kelce joining the team, going to be a great fit in the locker room. Fills a big position of need. I'm coming.
And I might start 3 tight ends this week. We'll see. But anyway, don't forget to check out our player series. Check out Albert's interview. It was definitely a fun time.
Yeah.
And keep your ears open. We will be tapping you on the shoulder, somebody next for next week. But all right.
Till then.
Next time.
See you guys.